Beyond bent. Janssen! And Blackburn Rovers are 18 minutes away from a Premiership return.
As far as Stewart, just outside the penalty area, clips it central for David Dunn. David Dunn equalises. It just had to be. Dax corner and it goes. Glance towards goal, and Rovers have taken the lead. And Charlie Mulgrew has scored his 14th of the season.
Hello Rovers fans, and welcome back to another live edition of On the Other Side, live with me, Ryan Hildred from Rovers Chat. And Rovers bounced back in excellent style on Monday night, didn't we, as we defeated Middlesbrough in a hugely important promotion clash for us. And it's back on the road this weekend as the fans finally get the chance to join the players at Kenilworth Road. We've been robbed the last two seasons. Third time lucky as we play Luton Town this Saturday. And giving us the lowdown on all things Hatters tonight is our regular Luton fan, Lewis. How you doing, Lewis, mate?
I'm not bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm buzzing to be going to the game on Saturday because I've had big plans to go there the last two seasons. So third time lucky, as I say. So I've never been to Kenilworth Road. I'm looking forward to it, to tick that one off. So yeah, I'm all right, though. Thank you for asking.
Definitely enjoy your visit because it's a one of a kind, our ground. And obviously we are getting a new one soon. So
yeah, it'd be good to take that one off. So looking forward to that. And Rovers fans, if you are tuning in and you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please turn on all notifications using that bell icon. And please give this video a big like for us. Super Chat is available as it always is. And a big thank you to our very kind sponsors, Blue Rose Capital and 6yardsout.com. So Lewis, let's make a start then on this little preview. Luton are a really tough side to place this season. I was just thinking about you in the prep for this, and I thought you went into the season really well. You did some good early business, got it all done early, and then you were in that top six for a short while, but you seem to have just drifted away from the playoff contention recently. But actually, if you look at the table, 3 wins in 4 games, 2 games in hand on some of your rivals, you are right back in the playoff hunt. So what has been the story of the season so far?
it's just not being consistent, really. We just haven't been that side to win like 3 games in a row and just keep it up. Really, we keep like winning 2 and then it's either a draw and then a loss, and we're just struggling to be consistent, really.
Yeah, it was a real surprise, when you did dip out. And I'll be really honest with you, I've just not really noticed Luton this season. But then, you're in 10th now, and I saw those results, and it's like, actually, you are back in contention. And just from a Luton fan perspective, Rovers are one of the sides this season, I think, taking advantage of a probably weaker overall Championship division this season. And as I say, Luton looked really settled coming into the season after that 12th place finish last season as well. So is there an air of disappointment in your fan base that you've not been more established in that top 6, like Rovers, like Huddersfield, for example?
It's a difficult one because it's because we had a massive rebuild in the summer. That's why I'm leaning towards no, in the sense of because we got rid of a lot of key players last year, and then this year it was one of our probably most important transfer summers under our current ownership and under Nathan Jones, and it's just taken a while for us to really gel. Literally, we've got pretty much a new spine. We're playing a completely different formation than we would normally play. So it's just taken a while for everything just to gel up and stuff like that. But I feel like I think this season especially, there's a few teams underperforming. You've got Forest have now started to performing well considering their poor start to the season. And then you've Sheffield United as well. I feel like they've massively underperformed, and same with West Brom. So it's just, unfortunately, we haven't taken advantage, but there's more reasons on our behalf why. I think for us this year, it's all about can we just outdo what we did last year and then push on next year when all these players that we brought in the summer have now had a year under their belt and have got used to what the club's all about.
Yeah, and in terms of getting used to what the club's about, obviously, when you're on the show earlier on this season, we spoke about Nathan Jones and his largely positive return to the club. And Luton very much playing in the way, that the manager is. He's outspoken at times after games, can be a bit of an awkward character. And Luton, I think, are a bit of an awkward side. You always get a really good game against Luton. So what's the view on the job that he's doing in the fan base?
Oh, fantastic! Ever since he's returned, even before he left us, he's always done a fantastic job. At times, I think it reflects in the team. He's not consistent, when it comes to like lineups and stuff. I think some fans get annoyed that he changes it too much at times, or doesn't make a sub quicker. But overall, we can't complain. We're 10th in the championship. That's better than what we're doing last year. I think we've generated more points compared to last year as well. So that's all we can ask for, really. All we can ask for is, playing good football, improvements each season, and that keeps everyone happy.
And ultimately, what are the aims for Luton this season? Because I'm looking at the table now. You sat on 38 points. You've got 2 games in hand on Forest and Huddersfield, who are 7th and 6th, respectively. I know it's all if, buts and maybes as far as games in hand go. Win those 2 games in hand, and you are on 44 points, which is the same as Huddersfield. So do you think the aim has to be playoffs for Luton this season? And if you get it, great. If you don't, then so be it.
From Nathan Jones's perspective, he's come out in a few interviews this season and said that the playoffs at the start of the season have been the aim, and some of the players have also said that as well. So from the management perspective, that's the aim. But from my perspective, it's just, I'm happy to have a top 10 finish. I feel like it's always good not to go backwards and always go forwards. But for me, I won't be devastated if we don't get playoffs. Like I said, once everyone in our team has a year under their belt, especially in the new players, then the second year, I would much rather, and I think we'll be a lot stronger next year and like more of a push for next year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Just going to dip into the comments because Tom's made me chuckle with this one. Got to respect Luton, the forward thinking of the club, to have seen the need for pitch side holiday chalet. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that stand looks like. That one where I think your dugouts are, I think that's in relation to, isn't it? And
okay.
That one, yeah, it's a strange old stand, that one, isn't it? And Steve, picking up on what I was saying earlier, to boldly go where no one has gone before, Luton. So I am looking forward to that, Steve. Going back into Luton then, Lewis, just to get under the skin of your side. As I say, you're a difficult side to beat and a difficult side to place in terms of where you are. But I was looking at some of the underlying stats, and you're not too dissimilar to Rovers. Lots of similar traits in there. So possession-wise, you're the 4th lowest in the division with 44%. Rovers are the lowest with 41.5%. Shots per game, you're 13th overall. Rovers are 16th overall. So kind of in that territory with us. And the thing that surprised me, goals, you're actually the 5th highest scorers in the division with 38 compared to Rovers in 2nd with 45. So this does suggest you can be a really dangerous side. So what has the style of play been this season? Because Rovers are very much the counter-attacking on the overturn type side. What can Rovers fans expect to see from Luton on Saturday?
I think this season we've been a lot more direct this year. Last year we were more playing it on the floor, but this year we've been a lot more direct. But we can do both, which comes in handy. If against certain teams, can you handle us directly? If you can't, we do it more often and stuff like that. I think we did it against Bristol City, and they just couldn't cope with us, especially in the air. They just found it extremely difficult. And then we use our set pieces to our advantage. When James Bree's consistent and our right fullback, then we are dangerous. Sometimes he can waste the free kick and waste the corner by not beating the first man. But when he's on it, and he puts in some great balls into the box. We rely on our fullback. So Amari Bell, former player, will definitely be relying on him to hopefully cause some problems down on the left-hand side. We could just spice up, really, playing it on the floor. We rely on our midfielders to create the chances for us. Clark, who's such an underrated player for us. He's such a great player. It's surprised that he plays for a club like us and not a higher club. But yeah, we can do a bit of both, really.
Yeah, and just looking at those set pieces, just as you were talking, so 10 set piece goals this season for Luton. That's 5th overall, as I say. Only a couple behind Cardiff. So, dangerous from set pieces. That's something that Rovers are going to have to watch out for on Saturday. And the recent form, as I say, Lewis, you've just crept back into that playoff contention. recent form has been pretty decent. So 4 wins, 1 draw and a defeat in your last 6 games. That's actually the same as Rovers. But of course, our form has been good over a longer period. So does it feel like Luton are starting to motor in the right direction now after that kind of nothing part of the season for you?
Yeah, I felt like, with all the virus, postponing all the games and stuff, it felt like it was just like a mid-season break. So it felt like all the players were regrouping and then just, motivating themselves on from now until the end of the season. And it feels like watching them now, we're a lot more gelled, a lot more, more of a team. So it feels like everyone's getting used to each other now. So I feel like I always thought to myself we would have a much stronger second half of the season. I just didn't expect, and just like other people didn't expect as good of a first half of the season as we did. So it's just hopefully now we can just really push on during the second half of the season and be that dark horse side, which a lot of people thought we were at the start.
Yeah, I think you were dark horses. I think I saw a lot of people predicting QPR, who people might have been saying were dark horses, but I did see a lot of support for Luton as well, maybe being a bit of a dark horse. So, yeah, dangerous side, most certainly. And, one of the players who's been key to that, Lewis, one of the key performers, Elijah Adebayo, he leads the way with 11 goals and 2 assists. Signed him from Walsall last season, of course, and it's his first full season with you now. Looks to have really found his feet at championship levels. So for Rovers fans that might not have seen him this season, what strengths does he bring to that Luton attack and how good has he been?
He's basically like another Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins type of player. He's so strong, hauls the ball up quite well, he links the play up well, good in the air. He's very clinical in the 6-yard box. He will make defenders' job a nightmare. He won't make it an easy job. I've seen him up against 3 defenders when we play 1 up top at times, and he can deal with 3 centre halves in the championship quite well. He's just incredible. And there were rumours that Newcastle were after him. We are going to require a high fee for him, which will be like over 10 million now in today's market. But he's just brilliant. We would not be where we are without him. And if he does get injured, unfortunately, I just don't see us climbing up that championship table. I see us doing the complete opposite, because without those goals, as you can see, 11 goals, we are not this. We collapse really, and it's you can definitely tell the difference when he's not on the pitch. We rely on him massively, and considering he's only actually had a full year in the championship. You just wouldn't think he was a League 2 player 18 months ago. You just wouldn't think. But now he's potentially knocking on the door for Premier League side. So it's just incredible to see.
Yeah, he looks a really important player. Top goal scorer. The second top goal scorer is Harry Kornick with 7. Am I right in saying he didn't score last season and seems to have now found his feet? So, what's been the story for Harry Kornick this season?
I think he scored 2 goals. I think it was something silly. He just couldn't finish his chances. But he started up top with Adebayo this season, and he's just been a lot more clinical, a lot more dangerous. But he hasn't featured in about 2 months. He's got an injury, so I can't see him starting on the weekend. But yeah, when he is fit, he uses his pace. He's dangerous. He's dangerous. For defenders. Defenders just can't keep up with him. To be fair, he just runs past him all the time. But I think this year he's more confident, and yeah, he's just finishing a lot better.
Yeah, and just the other goals, you've got Luke Berry on 4, and then there's a lot of 2s and 1s in there. So, Adebayo, really, really important player for Luton there. And you mentioned him earlier, Amari Bell. He did cop a lot of flack at Rovers at times. Seems to have found a good move for himself in Luton. So how's he been doing for Luton? And, have you seen him in an attacking sense? Because I think that's what a lot of Rovers fans were, kind of disappointed we didn't see from Amari Bell. He is definitely an attacking fullback.
Yeah, he's currently playing. At the start of the season, we played him at left back, but then as we've moved into this 3 at the back system, which we're currently playing now, he's been playing more as a left wing back. Defensively, I like. There were times against Bristol City midweek where it was frustrate me, where he wouldn't beat the man, even though I felt he had the ability to. But he's been a bit mixed, really. He's had good spells, he's had bad spells. I'd just say he's been quite average since we signed him. The problem with us is we don't really have any competition at left back, so he kind of guarantees a starting 11 place, if I'm being honest with you. Our backup left back, Dan Potts, is rarely ever fit, and he always gets injured every time he plays. So he kind of just doesn't have any competition. So ideally, I would like us to bring in another left back so we can push him a little bit more and see what Amari Bell is like with a bit of competition. But as I say, he's been average, but there's been times he's been really good. There's been times it's just been one of those types of players.
So funny to hear you just describe him there. You know, a couple of things that were really similar when we had him. One, absolutely, we just wanted him to take on a man and he just seemed to not do it. Some kind of mental block going on. And yeah, no competition at the left back spot. He was kind of lucky at times in our side to be in the side because he didn't have that competition either. And, you know, he wouldn't have been in the side this season. And of course, with Harry Pickering that we've got. So interesting what you said there about Amari Bell and definitely some similarities. So, Lewis, as we always do on this show, we do ask our guests for a predicted 11, which you have provided for us. So let's pop that up there in that 3-5-2 formation, as you said there. So talk us through this side, talk us through who's in form, who's not, and who's going to cause Rovers some problems.
Yeah, when you asked me this, I was pulling my hair out because the problem right now is I don't know who's going to be available because there's so many question marks over a lot of players, whether or not they're fit, and we don't know if they actually are going to be available. So I did mention Bradley, but he didn't play against Bristol City, which was a surprise. And I also mentioned Clark, and he also didn't play against Bristol City. The same with Jerome as well. But Jerome's understandable because he's 35 years old and he can't play so many games in a short amount of time. Ali Bayo, like towards the end of Bristol City, he was limping off, which is a worry because we just keep overworking him and he keeps playing and he keeps going strong, but you know it's wearing him down slightly. But Naismith has been our player of the season. He's absolutely fantastic. You know, wins every header like in the air. You know, he's great on the ball. For a defender, he can dribble past anyone, which is very good. He's a utility player. And he's just been fantastic, really. Shea, as well. Since he's come in for Sluga, he's been solid. Bradley's been amazing when he does play. Lockyer returned back to the side against Bristol City and scored and got an assist as well, which was great, and got 90 minutes. So I'm expecting him to play against you guys. And Alan Campbell's now come into his own a little bit during the season, and obviously we all know Berry scored the 2 goals against you guys last time out. So, yeah, that's why I've gone with that 11. Hopefully, I don't know if I'll be right, but yeah.
Well, don't worry. We do match previews all the time, and Tony Mowbray always kind of poo-poos over what Dan and I suggest, so don't worry about that. And, yeah, just on the Kai Naismith thing that you were saying there as you were talking, 4 assists for him, you know, second to James Bree. So James Bree and Kai Naismith, 2 defenders with the most assists for Luton this season. So they're going to be dangerous in those areas as well, Luton. I'm just chuckling at this comment. Is that Vardy on the left? The only comparison between me and Jamie Vardy, definitely not our footballing ability, but I've definitely got a ugly nose like Jamie Vardy. So I can assure you that I'm definitely not blessed in footballing terms in that sense. But never heard that one before, but that's a good one, Arsenal for life. And in terms of weaknesses for Luton then, Lewis, where can Rovers hurt you?
I say pace. The thing is, we don't have many weaknesses this season, to be fair. I think we get outdone by just quality at times. I think we just don't expect it. We gift goals away. I think when we played you last time, we gifted you guys the goals. We sometimes give teams too much respect, which has really done us this season at times as well. And I think defending set pieces can sometimes be an issue with us. We, for some reason, give someone a free man. But yeah, I say weaknesses is hard because I feel like against the better sides in the league, we give it a good game. We give teams good games. So the only way I feel like if Rovers, as you mentioned, you're a counter-attacking side, if we're going to push forward and I expect us to push forward because we are the home side, you know, I feel like our wing backs, when they get pushed upfield, you know, that's where you're going to, you know, exploit the space behind our fullbacks. So yeah, I can see that potentially happening on the weekend.
And obviously the game earlier on this season, it was 2 quick fire goals for Rovers in the first half, 2 goals in 4 minutes. And then obviously A game that we seemingly had tied up. No, the last 15 minutes, Rovers conceded 2 goals. One of them in the 98th minute as well. And I think Luke Berry got both of them, didn't he? Which seemed a bit of a shock. So, what did you make of that game back there? Was it just a case of grateful for the point with how that game went?
Yeah, like I said, I felt we gifted you the goals, but then I thought overall the performance wasn't too bad, and I think we justified getting something from it. It's just typical that we pretty much did it with the last kick of the game against you guys, but yeah, it probably felt more of a win actually for us, doing it in the 98th minute. But I feel like when I saw you guys then, I didn't think you'd go on the run which you have done since. I was like, oh, this run's going to end now at some point. Like, they can't keep this up, and you've managed to keep it up. Obviously a certain man from Chile just keeps scoring the goals. I'm surprised he hasn't gone yet, like from the January transfer window. But I do think we're quite even. Both teams are quite even in a sense. I didn't expect you to. Honestly, I just did not expect Blackburn to have the season they had. Especially after Armstrong, went to Southampton. I just did not expect you guys to be as high as you have been. But, football always proves people wrong at times.
Yeah, it does. And that's why we are fans and the pros are pros at the end of the day. But we are just riding the wave and absolutely loving it. And now we're in this position. It's just a case of winning as many as we can and see where we end up. But yeah, there's still a little bit of time for Diaz. So we're not being too confident yet. And we're a bit nervous that he's in Chile and out of our sight. So hopefully we can get past Monday with him still in the team. So really, Lewis, we've reached the part of the show now where you and I are on the spot with our score predictions. And Rovers fans, you know what to do. Get your score predictions into the comments, as a couple of you already have. So, Lewis, how do you think the game's going to go? And what is your score prediction?
I would take a draw. I think if someone told me before our back-to-back home games that you would get 4 points, I would take it. We've had some tough games. We've had Bournemouth where we won with the last kick of the game, which is one of the best games ever. If you haven't seen the highlights, I would definitely give that a recommend. Reading, we played where they basically are a bogey team away from home. And then we played Sheffield United, who now I think are going to climb up the table. And then we play Bristol City, and now we play you guys. So it's not exactly the most easiest run of games. So I'll definitely take a point. I think with games coming at us, Saturday, Tuesday. I think a point at home, it's not a terrible result. So yeah, I'll go with a 1-1 draw. I do think we will try and exploit you with our set pieces on the weekend because we know about your probably counter-attacking ability.
Just before I do my prediction, one other thing I noticed is the right-hand side, you look pretty dangerous. So who is it who attacks for Luton down the right? Is that where you would be the most dangerous on a pitch, or is it Adebayo just drifting out there?
James Bree's the one who attacks down on the right-hand side. He's the one with when he's on it, his crossing ability is excellent, but with him, he's a confidence. If he has 2 bad crosses, that's it for him. The rest of the game, he struggles. So if he's on it, he's on it, basically. So Adebayo, he does drift. He doesn't stay central. So he will keep going. And then we also have someone, normally we would have someone pacey going alongside him. Either Musway or a Kornick who will just run in the channels. So, but I don't think I'm expecting us to do too many dangerous runs on the right-hand side against you. I think we'll play quite direct, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay, so you've probably convinced me the way to go with my prediction now. So I do fancy Rovers for the win with what you've said. I do fancy us to defend the set pieces with the defenders that we've got. If there's going to be no one running at Teo Edun, who I think defensively can be found out a little bit. Attacking-wise, he's brilliant, and he's filling in for Harry Pickering at the moment. But, the other night against Middlesbrough, Isaiah Jones was causing him a few problems. So if there was someone direct down that right-hand side, I'd be a bit more nervous. But I think that win Rovers got on Monday was massive just for the overall morale and everything in the team. To win a game like that in the way that we did and just show that we can do it without Diaz and without Rothwell, I think it just shows we could go to a place like Luton, a difficult side to beat, someone that will be in our faces, going for us a bit. I think we can just, raise that a little bit. So, yeah, fancy us for a 2-1 win. Who do I think is going to score? Oh, I don't know. Maybe a set piece. Lenihan and Gallagher I'll go for. That's what I'm going to go for on that one. But make no mistake, I think this is going to be a really tough game. I do have a lot of respect for Luton. I've got a mate who's a Luton fan as well, so I hear a lot about them. So I think it'll be a really tough game for Rovers. And it might not be the prettiest with us both not having possession of the ball. It might be those set pieces, as I say. It might just be the odd couple of chances. But 2-1 Rovers is what I am going to say. So let me dip into the comments and see what others have said. I don't know who was first in. I think, Joel, you were first in, actually. Here we go. My prediction, 3-0 Rovers. Zayfalk, Galley and Bucco. Now, if Zayfalk scored, that would just be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? He nearly did the other night, which would have just blown Ewood Park to bits. Who else have we got? Oh, Joel's already said it. Duncan, 3-2 Rovers. Steve has gone at Desmond. Michael, 2-1 Rovers. A red card in there too. Yeah, that would not surprise me, Michael, with the way we both play. Who else have we got in here? Domino, 2-1 Luton. They're playing really well at the moment. They are, aren't they, Domino? They absolutely are, but so are we, as Joel points out. David, be a 3-2 game either way. Come on, David. Put your flag to the mast. Let us know which way you think it's going to go. Chris T goes 1-1. So, yeah, I think, I've seen lots of comments this season, Lewis, where Rovers fans have all gone for a Rovers win. There's a few draws in there and a defeat. So I think that shows respect that Rovers have got for the Luton side there. So we will see. But it'll certainly be a tough game. And one other comment I spotted from Steve. He wants to thank you for beating Bournemouth, by the way. What a game that was. That certainly lifted the Rovers fans, that victory. So, yeah, thank you from the Rovers fans for that. So, I think that is it. What's Duncan saying here? Who do you think the starting lineup will be? So, I think it'll be the same as we saw the other night, actually, Duncan, unless Joe Rothwell's fit. If Rothwell's fit, I think he'll replace Bradley Johnson with Rothwell. If Rothwell's not fit, maybe he'll bring Davenport in. Can Bradley Johnson play 2 games in a week with how leggy he looked? But I think it'll essentially be the same side that we saw start against Middlesbrough. So there we are. So, Lewis, I will thank you for your time, mate. Thank you, as ever, for joining us on this show. Our resident Luton fan, giving us the lowdown on Luton. And Rovers fans, thank you for your comments and everything as well. And if you're at Kenilworth Road with one of those hot tickets in town that's sold out very quickly at the Rovers ticket office, then enjoy the game. I'll be there as well. Really looking forward to it. And thank you, everyone, for your support. Thank you, everyone, for the continued support to the channel as well. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Joel is absolutely desperate for me to read this comment. So Lewis looks like Harry Pickering, not going to lie.
I get told Harry Maguire's one when I wear my England kit and I have my hair up. Connor Chaplin at times. Get all different.
I've been told Vince Grella in the past. I've had Jamie Vardy tonight. So there you go. We've had them all. But yeah, please hit that subscribe button, Rovers fans. Please give this video a big like. Enjoy the game if you're there. If not, join us on the watch along on Saturday. Have a good evening, Lewis. Have a good evening, Rovers fans. And we will see you all soon. See you later. The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.